Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Random Rants with Brooklyn. I'm your host, Brooklyn. Today's rant topic is not really a rant topic, and it's more about a story time, I guess. Today's story time is going to be about an audition I had the other day and events happening after it. Also, if you hear like crinkling noises, I have a plastic water bottle. I did not bring my normal one, so let's get started, shall we? So starting off with the audition, our school doesn't have a drama program, unfortunately, which is really annoying, but we do have a play that we try to do every year. And so this year's play audition happened, and I auditioned, and the cast list hasn't come out yet, but I thought I did relatively well. The play this year is, what's it going to be? Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, whatever one it is. And we had to audition. We had to do a short little song, or like a part of a song, and we had to do like a minute-long monologue. And so I did my monologue and I did my song, and I thought I did well. And everyone else told me I did well too, like my friends, other people who were in the audition with me. And then the cast list didn't come out. And so later that week, I don't want to say that week. Yeah, it was the week. Later that week, a couple people came up to me. Actually, I asked one of my friends, and he was like, "Oh yeah, we have, I don't know when the cast," because I asked him when the cast list was coming out, and he said, "Oh yeah, I don't know when the cast list is coming out, but the callbacks are X, Y, and Z date. Are you coming?" And I was like, "I didn't get an email." And he said, "Oh." And so then several other people came up to me, and I think they genuinely thought I was on the callback list, because they said, "Oh, are you going to the callback list?" Wait, what? They basically said, "Oh, are you going to the callbacks, blah, 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 blah." And I said I'd never got the email. And they genuinely thought I got the email and I was in the callbacks. And so everyone in my friend group, except for me, who had auditioned, got a role, like a main role, basically. And the person who's the director, they didn't do it very professionally, because instead of emailing everyone who had auditioned and saying basically, "Oh yeah, we basically have everyone did really well, and we do have roles for you in the future, but these are the people who are getting the callbacks to maybe get like a main role." And instead of that, the director basically emailed the people and was like, "Oh, hey, they didn't do bad, but you guys can't tell them, and here's the callback people." And everyone who came up to me probably genuinely thought that I got in, because they weren't supposed to tell me. And I can't go and confront anyone, because if I do, I'm scared, one, that people are going to get in trouble, and they genuinely probably did not know that I was not on the callbacks. Or they probably wouldn't come up to me and be like, "Oh, hey, did you get the callback list?" No, obviously. And I can't really go and confront anyone else, because I feel like I'd sound disappointed. They'd be like, "Well, you're just ungrateful. Like, you can't be selfish." But the director, like my friends who talked to me about it too, they think that it was biased opinion too. The people who got the role are either people who are friends with them, people who hug up to be like the director, or people who just genuinely seem like, "Oh, you seem like a great person," or like one of those people who have charisma. And it's not that. Like, there's people who are really badly skilled who got the role, and at this point I'm kind of just being biased myself. But then the person who, we're gonna call her Summer basically got a role, and she really wanted the role, and she kind of makes it her whole personality. And she doesn't really care that the whole bias thing, because, hey, if you get the role you want, what bias is there? If I got a role I wanted, but there was bias, I would not be happy and I would actually care, because as much as I love getting things I like, I'm not going to change my opinion just because I got what I wanted, you know? If it's unfair, it's unfair. I'm not changing it just because, hey, I got a benefit out of this. So basically, this happened kind of last year too, but not really. So last year, all of the youngest people got the main roles. There was only like 2 people who got it, and they were still one of the youngest people. They got main roles, and no one liked the director. This is a different director, by the way, from last year. I quit the play, same with a lot of my other friends who had joined. We all quit the play. There were very few people in. The cast was the crew. Like, there was no crew. The cast was moving the set, and the only quote-unquote crew that they had was basically the people who had to manage sound and lighting. The mics were very sad. It wasn't even on a stage. Like, there was only one thing on the stage, and it was the interjection, because one person came from the stage. But other than that, everything else was on the floor. And so it was really hard to see. A lot of us sat in the bleachers when we went to see it, because our what's it called, stage and like performance thing is in our gymnasium. And so there's bleachers there. And so we sat in the bleachers so we could see, and we didn't sit in like the rows. A lot of the students did, but like it was still really sad. But this year it was so biased, and I'm just, yeah, the industry is just so lovely. And on top of that, I auditioned for a voice acting role, and I got the voice acting role. And then I go to email the person to, like, accept the role, and that was, like, a month ago, and they still haven't gotten back to me. But I wanted to get Violet because she's such a sassy diva, and I didn't get a call back for Violet. I didn't get a call back for anyone. I got a background character again. And what annoys me is the fact that 90% of the people, 99, actually, I'm 99% sure, none of the people who auditioned, not even like just got callbacks, who auditioned, period, want to become an actress with their career. Like, that's what they want to do. And I'm not talking about like theater kid type acting. I'm talking about like, I want to be an actress. That's the career. That's the passion. That's what I think God wants me to do. I bet you none of them have that same mindset. And I can't even practice my profession, one, because we don't have a freaking drama program at our school, so anyone can join the play if they want to. It's not like, oh, I'm willing to put my time, commitment, get graded on this type of a thing. No, anyone can join our play. And I can't exactly practice my profession else, because for background characters, if you get a background character in like a film, you can still kind of practice your profession because you can still be acting. But if you get a background character in like theater, there's not much acting going on. You kind of just say, you might not even have any lines. You might just be ensemble, especially if it's a musical. But there's not much acting going on. And honestly, I don't know what background character I'm gonna get, because it's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Because what background characters are there besides Oompa Loompas? And I'm not short. I'm above average height. I'm relatively tall. I can't play an Oompa Loompa. I'm not walking on my knees. My knees are already freaking destroyed. And so, I don't know what background character I'm playing, because there's no way I'm being a villager. Because if I'm a villager, I basically am at the intro and the end. Like, that's all I have. And then I'm ensemble in the background, just singing. It's kind of like, what exactly do you expect me to do? Because I know a lot more people tried to join this year. But do you know how important acting is to me? And I can't really go and confront them because I'll sound like a pick-me, and I don't want to sound like that, or an attention seeker or anything like that. I just genuinely am concerned because, you know, if if I had my way, if a lot of us had our way, this whole thing would be done for, and I would probably put on a strike. Sign this petition for fairness and justice and me actually getting a real role. I don't know. That's kind of my venting right now. But yeah. So that's how the audition went. And then, yeah. I don't really know what else to say. I guess that's the end of the podcast episode for today. I might come back later and do something random, like a hyperfixation on the Marauders or something. Anyway, so yeah, that's the end of the episode. Thank you for sparing your time and ears to listen to Random Rants with Brooklyn. Hope to have you coming back to listen again soon. If you have any suggestions for future rant requests or improvement ideas, let me know. Thanks and goodbye. Have a nice day.